Good morning. This presentation is coming to you from Institute of Real Estate Education and Entrepreneurship Development, IRED. In our last transmission, we had covered a subject called Real Estate Investment Trust. Akin to that, this time around, there is a similar subject that is going to draw our attention, that is Infrastructure Investment Fund. The background to both these investment funds actually is quite identical. This entire thing was conceptualized in 2007, and actually in 2014 when the regulations were made for the Real Estate Investment Trust as well as for Infrastructure Investment Trust. The background for Infrastructure Investment Trust is that in years to come, and as the progress in the economy of the country moves forward, there is going to be more and more avenues and opportunities for investment in the various infrastructure projects that are going to be conceptualized and implemented. Most importantly, as all of us are aware, it's the highways, the transmission towers, the transmission cable, the distribution system, and the power generation systems. These are the infrastructures that are going to be coming, and it will be inviting a new vehicle for carrying out investments by the individuals, by institutions, and even by the companies. In fact, recently I was going through, there are some large pension funds which are coming in from Canada to carry out investment in the NHI, the National Highway Authority of India Infrastructure Investment Trust. Similarly, these opportunities are going to be presented, and the common man, instead of so far being confined to investments in the normal stock exchanges through SEBI, is also now going to get opportunities to carry out investments in infrastructure, major investment funds. The structure of these infrastructure funds are basically, there is a sponsor, that's the company that comes forward to sponsor an investment trust, and then we have a trustee which is nominated by the sponsor, and he has certain roles to play. Thereafter we have investment manager, and after investment manager we have the operational manager. The function of trustee is basically to coordinate with the SEBI and make sure that when the money which is being pooled in by the sponsor is invested as per the conditions and the stipulations, the regulations laid down by SEBI, and making sure that the investments are carried out in the projects as per the stipulations of the SEBI. That is, 80% of the project should have been completed, and also making sure that once the investments come, the investors get their due. 90% of the return, the revenue that are generated by from these investments are to be given back to the investors by in the form of dividends. Similarly, the investment manager's function is to ensure that the funds are being invested in the projects sensibly and as per the laid down stipulations, and most of all keeping in mind the interests of the investing institutions and investing individuals. The operational manager, by the same token, makes sure that the functioning of the SPVs through whom investments are being carried out actually in keeping with the norms and the stipulations of the SEBI. Being structured, as I've mentioned, what are the benefits? Why should somebody choose to invest through infrastructure investment funds? The main benefits are that it provides a diversified avenue, diversified vehicles for carrying out investments. It's regulated by SEBI, and it is going to be protect from the day-to-day ups and downs, the uncertainties of the other normal routine investments. It's a long-term investment because the projects are not fly-by-night, overnight kind of projects. These projects are infrastructure projects, and therefore, as the name suggests, we would have a span of something like 5 years to 10 years. So therefore, it's a long-term investment. It is protected by very strict rules and regulations laid down by the SEBI. It is monitored by the trustees and the investment managers, and therefore the investments carried out by the individuals in these trusts are going to be relatively safer. The infrastructure assets, as I mentioned earlier, are going to be in the form of highways, power generation projects by way of transmission towers, and as some of the names that we know of, IRB, National Highway Authority of India, and several other macro infrastructure projects which are being launched in the country. And as the economy grows, projects are going to grow larger in size as well as in number, and therefore there is going to be more and more participation by the institutions and the individuals. The regulatory framework, as has been explained, as was actually in place in Real Estate Investment Trust. Similarly, in this case also, the regulatory framework continues to remain under very strict supervision of the SEBI. Structure of the organization by way of sponsor, the trustee, the investment manager, and the manager is so organized, so designed that the investment amount and the investment returns, the distribution of dividends is strictly in keeping with the interest of all the investors. In conclusion, I would like to recommend that those of us who are interested in carrying out investments over a prolonged period of time and who wants to remain sheltered and protected from the volatility of the market as takes place in the stock exchange, a long-term 10 to 12% of return kind of dividend, when we are looking for that, this is a very good choice for carrying out investment. What struck me most was that I read somewhere that every rupee that is invested in the infrastructure invested fund results in 2.5 to 3% GDP growth of the country. So therefore, indirectly, if I may say so, it also contributes towards the nation building, and therefore one more avenue of motivation actually for those who are contemplating investing in infrastructure investment trust. This broadly is the framework of InvIT, as it is popularly called. There are more inquiries, if there are more information required by any of the listeners, you may please return to iRead, and we would like to get hold of all the information and share that with you. With that, I conclude today's presentation. Jai Hind.